Back again as the OLA Junior B McMaster Northmen welcome the West Durham Ironheads to the Alder Street Recreational Complex for a Tuesday night showdown. Hello again, lacrosse fans. Lance Wynn working alongside my usual partner, Matt Marchanden. And, of course, JVI Productions, glad to have you with us. Two teams at opposite ends of the standing spectrum set to clash here tonight. Starting goalies for West Durham, it'll be Nick Parolin. Comes in with an 0-4 record. His goals against 12.31, save percentage of .746. At the other end, Lucas Johnston, he's been stellar, 5-2 record. His goals against a minuscule 8.30, save percentage .821. Head coaches for the Ironheads, it's Pat Gregoire. He's the bench boss. His assistants are Ryan Szyskowski, Brock Livick, Aiden Conlon, and James Malloy. For McMaster, the usual suspects. Brandon Sanderson is the head coach. His assistants are Niall and Dustin Caravello. And as we get set and underway here, bring in my partner, Skip. How you feeling today? Hope everything is good as we get underway here. Good matchup between these two teams.
Yes, it is, and I appreciate the nickname call. There's a lot of Orangeville faithful who are probably cheering on their couches right now as we speak.
There's no one cheering. Stop it. Rebound right off the back. Great save early on. You're lucky you got verified as a Skip. So good on you as the Ironheads now get their first chance on offense as they will wait and set things up, wait for the rest of the offensive unit to go to work out there. Braden Niemi out there as one of the quarterbacks. Quick shot by Jackson Wilkinson, easy save by Lucas Johnston. And we talk about what the Northmen have done. We need to start at the back end with Lucas Johnston. He's been outstanding.
Yeah, he's been great. It was a scoring fest last Saturday, but for the most part, Lucas Johnston, all the way up until the third period of last time we were here on Tuesday against Halton, has been stellar. Didn't have a great third period, but that's going to happen. But over and over again, these goaltenders have been really good for the Northmen.
Of course, the Northmen had their 8-game win streak snapped by Halton Hills in the first of a home-and-home. They responded with a road victory, 16-15 in that one, to bounce back. So the Northmen, with a win here, important enough, they could solidify something headed to the playoffs.
That's right, yeah, it was a huge win, an uncharacteristic score for a Halton-Orangeville game. Usually the two defensive-minded teams keep it pretty low, but it was a scoring fest, and it was consistent throughout. It was 5-5 after one, 10-10 after two, and then the Northmen were able to edge a 6-goal versus 5 in the third to get the win. And yeah, with a win tonight, the Northmen can solidify second place in the East, which would then give them a choice of who they play first round.
So there you have the 4-1-1 on that as Gordy Power bounces off a check, swings it over. Evan Brake trying to go one-on-one. He'll roll off, kick it back out accordingly. Quick shot, save there, and a good save made by Parolin. And a fresh clock now for the Northmen. These two teams, of course, met May 31st, a convincing win for the Northmen. And right there, as you can see, Cade Cordingley adding to his total, picks up first goal of the game, his 14th of the season.
Well, this all comes off of an offensive rebound, as we saw. You see Brake gives a good pick there up top, and Cade just flashes down to the crease. Not a great angle, kind of trickles in, but Cade adds to his goal total and now has 14 on the season.
So the last time these two teams met, 13-5 was the final, so a convincing win for the Northmen. And I'm sure the Ironheads, of course, with a 4-13 record, still a glimmer of hope to squeak into the playoffs. And I know their head coach, Pat Gregoire, was very optimistic that he can get this team to tighten things up for the last few games of the season, but it's going to take a lot. They are a young bunch.
They are, yeah, and also another barrier to that is that they just recently traded their starting goalie and top defenseman. So they have a few new bodies in the lineup here tonight, and they're looking to see what those guys can offer and see what happens and how this pans out.
As if the regular season doesn't present enough challenges as it is. Now you're looking at a goaltending, one of your best defenders. So the Northmen back to work. Power trying to duck in, getting a step. Good defense, though, by Johnny Lafleur as he closed that off. 5 on the shot clock. That's just going to run out, and possession is going to go to the Ironheads. So a good defensive hold by West Durham will give them back possession here, trailing by a goal. Leo Hoffman will start it on the right side. Half boards, they'll overload that right side initially. That shot almost squeaks in and just bouncing around on that white line. And a good job by Lucas Johnston, and not sure if we're going to have our first penalty of the game, as Connor Costigan is headed to the penalty box, begrudgingly I might add.
Yeah, I didn't quite see what Connor did there, but obviously it caught the attention of the official, and he's headed off to the box after a very close call in the Orangeville net.
So first power play of the game belongs to the Ironheads, and they come in with a power play efficiency rating 41%. And on the other side, for the penalty kill for the Northmen, 76% on the PK. So awfully tough to put one past not only Lucas Johnston, but this Northman defense. Shot clock winding down. That underhand well wide of the mark by Wilkinson. That'll go the length of the floor and give possession now to the Northmen with just under a minute and a half to kill in the man short. Leighton Cook. He's going to leg it, try to burn some clock. And you can see the guys they have out there, and Marcelo Carrero with power along with Evan Brake. So offensive weapons as well in a man short situation. So they'll hustle off, let the defense go to work. Ironheads now one man to beat. There's the good transition defense. They'll kick it back out and set it up with Zach Page. Zach Page, one of the leaders on this team, leading point getter for sure, as he will be the quarterback. Not able to catch that one cleanly. 5 on the shot clock. Good job to fight through that by Liam Stadnick, and Stadnick gets taken down, and they're going to count the goal. So Liam Stadnick kept the feet moving, and it's 2-0 for the Northmen.
Well, I mean, you mentioned that they had some offensive prowess on the penalty kill there, and it looks like they may have the green light to try something and go to the net here. And the Northman player just rolls off one defender, keeps his legs moving. He sees he has a step, protects the ball very well, gets to the net. He's all over his numbers. Probably should have been a crease call, but the ref gave him the benefit of the doubt, and he dumped one in as he was sliding across.
Tough angle, because you know if the official's on the other side and he's sliding into that crease area, can't necessarily see that point of contact. So tough here. Other leagues have 3 officials, 2 officials here, so that's unfortunately one of the downside. Either way, a short-handed marker for the Northmen, and they're up 2 now, 20 seconds left in this power play by the Ironheads. Big shot, that's well wide of the mark, and I've seen 5 shots now from the Ironheads. I've not seen an overhand yet, and I've not seen one hit the net yet.
You better have a talk with your buddy, the coach down there, maybe at intermission.
Saying, you might have to emphasize and go back to the basics, but either way, young team and a young junior team, boy, says a lot. Carrera, he has had himself an outstanding season. Penalty over now, team's back to full strength. Break. Trying to turn the corner, curls out. 5 on the shot clock, kicks it back out. Gordy Power. Power lets it go. That one gets blocked. And we'll go the other way now. Ironheads with a chance. And they don't have the numbers, so they will wait, filter out the offense, and get another crack here. Braden Niemi swings it around. And it's Graham McClellan. McClellan not able to do much. 10 on the shot clock. There's a good overhand right on the mark. Good save by Johnston. And now the Northmen will try to move it up and get their opportunity in the offensive end. Got to figure the coaching staff for the Northmen, please, after you have your 8-game win streak snap, you bounce right back and win a tough one on the road.
Yeah.
And they seem to be battling hard against Halton Hills every game.
Yeah, Brandon Sanderson kind of echoed what our sentiment was last week, Lance, and said that they just didn't go away. They didn't give up. I know the score was even throughout the periods, but pretty easy to get down if you let a few in here and there, and he's just very impressed with how calm and collected this Northman team is.
Well, I tell you, that's going to go a long way. The prior weekend, they went on the road and won some tough games on the reservation there. And that, I think, that whole process is what prepares you for the playoffs. And there are only 2 games. There's only this game and 2 more games, a home and home with Brampton, left in the regular season. And then it's money time.
Yeah, and you got to be figuring that, another thing Coach Brandon Sanderson told me before the game was that he just looking for them to kind of clean up a few things, their transition and their defense. He wants that to be nice and clean and ready to go to roll in these playoffs, so they're at full capacity here.
I tell you, sporting a 13-2 record, and you still got stuff to fix.
Yeah.
You gotta like that, I tell you. Johnston with another save. Break battling in the corner for it. Can't come away with it. Ironheads do. Kick it back out. It's McLennan now, and he will reset the offense. Heading toward 11.5 minutes here, opening period. 2-0 lead for the Northmen. Good first step. Leo Hoffman took it in, but nothing doing there, and possession now will go the other way to the Northmen. Good job by Connor Pierce to leg it over the timeline now, and it's Cordingley. Cordingley dancing around that left side, looking for an opening, swings it around accordingly. They kick it, and it's Mason Kreller. Kreller trying to hang on to it, but tenacious defense from Johnny LaFleur forces the turnover, and the Ironheads now working it on the right side. Defense, though, by the Northmen has been pretty tight. They're right back, ready to go. Everyone matched up with a man. Forcing shots from way out, and that one from Casey Relini was right on, but again an easy save for Johnston. Legging it up now and got the feet moving. Gage Noseworthy dumps it off Carrero, and he's ran out of real estate, so creased the call. So a good opportunity, a good rush by Noseworthy, unfortunately come up empty at the offensive end. McLennan dumps it off. He'll give way to Speedy Niemi. Delayed penalty.
Ironheads are going to go 6-on-5 here for a moment as a delayed penalty to the Northern.
7 on the shot clock. You can see pushed way out, and that shot right on. So for the second time in the game, the Ironheads will go back to work with a man advantage, with hopes of having more success than they did in their previous power play that they gave up the shorthanded marker with.
Looks like Carrero's the guilty party there. Interference was the call. I think we both kind of missed it there, but again, the Ironheads, like you said, are going to try to break even here on this power play.
Well, it depends on what hat you're wearing now. I don't know. Sometimes you're an official, sometimes you're playing. So I'm not sure. So you got to be more specific than that, Matt.
Some people may say I do it all, Lance.
Nobody says that. Stop it.
I said it.
You said it. That's it. You're the only one. At least you verified the nickname anyway, so that's all right. You got little credentials there. 1.5 minutes here in the man short. Accordingly, going to just keep it. 10 on the shot clock. And that one goes across. Almost bounces right to Power. Almost had himself a Merry Christmas. And instead, Hoffman will get it. And they'll work it back up into the offensive end.
Great job by Cade Cordingley. Just applying enough pressure to slow it down, allow the Northmen to get their guys out, and he can just jog off while they get their 4-man unit out. No fast break. Certainly
hasn't been any fast break or transition opportunities for the Ironheads as of yet. Dump it in, and that shot wide of the mark. So a chance for Niemi, not able to find any part of that net. Double team there, and fighting his way out of it is Stadnik. And I tell you, Liam Stadnik does so many of those little things coaches need. Good work there, though, by the Ironheads to come away with that scrum with possession.
That's exactly what the Ironheads needed. They got a good shot there, a good tough offensive rebound, and they're right back at it.
Page ducking in, gets a shot, steered aside Johnston. Graydon Stokes now has it taken away. Chance here, and wide of the net, or just may have caught the side of the net. So a chance for Zach Page, not able to capitalize.
Yeah, what an opportunity for the Ironheads there, but the Orangeville goalie had an answer. Another really good get-back ball for the Ironheads here.
Penalty Carrera's over. Team's back to full strength, trying to split two, but not able to do it was Page. Ball loose, and a good job by Stokes. Takes the hard hit, gets it to Carrera. Carrera now try to make a move, comes away with it. And the Northmen, good composure by Carrero, and now the offense filters back out with Evan Brake. Brake has Logan Marshall cutting through. Brake steps through. Big save there. Rebound. Another good save. So Parolin standing tall, keeping his team in it and keeping the deficit at just 2.
Yeah, the last couple of minutes here have been really good for the Ironheads. Let's see if they can turn this into some momentum and get within 1 here.
West Durham swinging it around. They'll work it left side. McLennan trying to get a step. Good defense, though, by Colin Thompson. Follow him right there. Quick shot wide of the mark by Niemi. Ball loose, comes right back to McLennan, and good defense by the Northmen as they stave off 2 opportunities by the Ironheads. Now back to work on offense. Accordingly, got a step. Good recovery, though, by Liam Moffitt. Kick back out. Break shot steered aside. Rebound loose, picked up. Zach Shepard now. He'll move it up. Chance for the Ironheads. 1-on-1, ducking in and not able to get a good shot off what was Moffitt on a good solid cross check. And now the Northmen counter the other way. Noseworthy finds Marshall. Marshall, good duck in. Another good move. He'll curl out, kick it back to the top, swing it around right side. Accordingly, he's going to try to muscle his way in. Change of direction. Beauty goal. Dylan Cordingley on the money. 3-0 for the Northmen.
Well, it was a pretty back and forth affair here, and as you'll see, number 25, Mason Kreller, will come up on the exchange to Cordingley. He gets inside, pushes his man inside, gets that nice back pick, so Cordingley can go. The defenseman overcommits. Cordingley's great feet, comes back over the top, and finds the far side. Really, really good effort by the Northmen here, and exactly what they needed to break the momentum of the Ironheads.
Jeez, Cordingley pulled that emergency break.
Yeah.
Nicely done, nicely done. And off the draw, Northmen control. That's Cordingley's 12th of the season. First of the game here, and now Cousin Cade will handle things on the left side, half boards. We're under 6 minutes to go here, opening period. Screen and roll. Evan Brake in alone and crease the call. I mean, Brake was wide open on that screen and roll.
Wide open off a really nice backhand pass by Cade Cordingley. Stepped to the middle, looked like he was going to shoot, and just feathered one perfectly in for Brake's chance.
Brake does a good job to knock that pass down, and possession right back to the Northmen and Cordingley. He'll swing it around half boards accordingly. He'll swim his way in. Quick shot wide of the mark. That ball's going to hang around. Good offensive rebound. No reset. 10 on the shot clock. Working 1-on-1 is Marshall. Swings it around. Carrero looking down inside. Carrero picks up the rebound. That shot's good save by Parolin as Carrero not able to find the back of the net there, and he was in prime territory. Anytime Carrero gets that ball in that dotted half circle, he is a threat.
Well, he is certainly a talented player, and as you see, that shift was just an outstanding shift by the Northmen coming off of that 3rd goal of the night.
Screen and roll, nothing doing. Swing it back over, and it's McLennan. Looking for an opening to crease, wide open, and a beauty finish there. Ironheads on the board.
Yeah, it just looks like Connor Pierce kind of loses his guy in front of the net here, gets ball watching, doesn't see his guys slip into that little area, and they make a great cross-feed pass there. Graham McLean finds him on the back door, and the Ironheads have stopped the bleeding here in the first.
Zach Page with his first of the game. He's got 28 goals in the season. So it was just a matter of time before he helped his team out offensively. 3-1, but right back at you come the Northmen, and accordingly not able to tiptoe around that crease area. Will give the possession back to the Ironheads. See here if West Durham can put together some momentum here after that goal. Getting on the board here. Cutter and not able to connect as Ethan Williams streaming through the middle. Good job though by Ryan Proctor to recover that pass. Still plenty of time. 6 on the shot clock. Looking to a cutter inside, and another good save by Johnston as Carson Kent from point blank not able to find the mark. So good goaltending there. May have slowed up the momentum, kept the momentum riding in the direction of the Northmen.
Well, the Ironheads have had certainly a really good shift right after their goal, just like the Northmen did previously. So these Ironheads aren't going anywhere, folks. We might be in for a good game here.
And a backhand hits the crossbar as Evan Brake cruising in the middle there. And that back in will give a fresh 30 to the Northmen. Brake looking for an opening, looking for a screen, gets one from Marshall. Tried to tuck that in short side, and Nakaram is going to take it all the way down. Hoffman in alone, and Hoffman may have used 2 or 3 dekes too many there.
And he had an actual net to shoot at. He was just a little bit too far down to the goal line.
Going. The fakes were outstanding.
Wow.
Just maybe cut down a couple of them and maybe put that one in the back of the net. But again, chances though for the Ironheads still in it. Carrero, dump off, gets it back. Looks for an opening. Again, trying to duck his way in. Good defense there to knock it away, and bounces it off. Gets it back out. Cordingley's quick shot on the money, but it's stopped. And now a good defensive possession for the Ironheads. And now Moffitt will give way to Casey Rellini. And Rellini will use those long legs, go for a bit of a run. Just 10 on the shot clock already, setting things up now on offense. Quick zip pass across, and that shot right on. Rebound picked up. Good job there by Rellini. And nothing doing as Jackson Wilkinson tried to split 2 defenders and paid the price. And now the Northmen. Break in the middle. Dumps it back off. Down low accordingly, thinks better of it. Good decision. Break. Good skip. Gets it back. They'll swing it around left side, Marshall. He'll find Power. 5 on the shot clock. Gordy Power over the top, right on target. Easy save though for Parolin. And now the Ironheads. So despite a bit of a shaky start by West Durham, just managed to be in this game. We're almost into the final minute here, and they're still only trailing by a couple.
I was just thinking the same thing, Lance. They've really brought some life to this game here late in the first period and kind of given the Northmen all they can handle here at the late stages of the first.
Trying to bounce off, doing a good job of just that is Niemi, as he's very, very tricky. And Northmen now going to move it. Final minute here of the opening period. On the run, trying to take it all the way in was Connor Costigan, and wasn't able to finish, although that was probably the right idea.
Yeah, I think you got to take that shot. I don't know. I think Costigan's more of a defensive-minded guy, but you get a lane right to the hopper. You got to take it every time, right?
Rellini now. He'll jump start this offensive set, working it to Hoffman. Hoffman curls out. 10 on the shot clock. Good defense by Landon Pater. And that shot goes into the crowd. So possession to the Northmen now, 21 seconds. My partner Skip was already diving for that ball, looking for an outlet pass, trying to get down the floor.
And the Northmen have pulled the goalie with no timeout here to see if they can get one in the last 10 seconds, 6 on 5.
8 on the game clock. Gonna have to move. Carrero shot. Goes to the sidearm. Good save by Parolin. Rebound accordingly. Gonna have to hurry. Gets it back, and that'll do it. 20 minutes in the books here. The Elder Street Recreation. We'll be back with period number 2 after this short break.
Running a business? Having issues getting your products on time and seeing your prices skyrocket? Ontario Packaging and Distribution Centres is here to help. Ontario Packaging is helping Dufferin businesses save time and money with over 2 million products available. Ontario's one-stop shop for everything you need to run a business, warehouse, or restaurant here in Dufferin. Want to put your company logo on your boxes, tapes, or poly bags? Just give them a call. From packaging and shipping supplies, boxes to bubble wrap, to janitorial, and their new full apparel catalog, OPC really has it all. Over 2 million products in stock. See the difference hometown shopping makes at Ontario Packaging Centres. Supporting our local community from 70 Centennial Road, Unit 3, Orangeville.
Welcome back as we're underway here. Second period action, and right off the draw, good job by Jesse Gonzalez to get a shot off, but another good save. Johnston remains a wall, and now the Northmen will work it in the offensive end. Cordingley's shot wide of the mark. So wasting no time. Both teams trying to go to work here in transition, and the Northmen now are going to set things up in the offensive end. Colin Thompson, job well done. He'll retreat. Break now. Will swing it over Carrero. Half boards on that right side. Looking for a screen. Gets one from Power. Kicks it over Cordingley. Gets it back. Carrero ducks in. Trying to spin around. That's a crease call. And now the Ironheads quick to react here. They have numbers 2-on-1 out of the back door. Great save by Johnston as Carson Kent in alone. And the Northmen now at the other end. Chance there, and nothing doing though for Leighton Cook. Good save by Parolin, and doesn't look like anyone's playing any D right now. Goaltenders though are doing it all, as another chance there by the Ironheads, stopped by Johnston.
Yeah, 5 great scoring opportunities in the first minute and 15 seconds of this period. We might be in for a high-scoring game here.
I tell you, working the half boards, Logan Marshall. Had a good angle, pulled it back out, and he'll swing it around to the right side. Accordingly, and that's too much on that screen and roll. We'll give possession back to West Durham. So you see these Ironheads have come out this second period with some life, a little bit of fight, some pep in their step for sure. Niemi dodges a couple defenders. That shot teed up from way out by Wilkinson, and a chance now for the Northmen to move it up. Trying to duck in and finds the mark. Beauty job, Preston Gear in transition. It's 4-1.
Well, after all that back and forth, Colin Thompson, he's in a real tough spot. He just throws it to an area because he knows he's got 2 or 3 guys coming up the floor and off the bench. And the Northern player just gets underneath and makes no mistake, shoots it hard at the 5-hole, turns the Ironheads goalie stick. That's one he probably wants back. But the Northmen come out on top of this barrage of offense that we've had from both ends so far this period.
Just the 4th goal of the season for Preston Gear, but in his defense, he is a defensive player. So whenever you can get some offensive output from your transition players, that goes a long way. And Preston Gear doing a good job contributing to the cause. Hoffman swings it over. McLennan looking for an opening, and he'll flip it back to the top. Hoffman, and Hoffman was looking for that far corner, had a sliver of daylight, just wasn't able to put the rubber in there, and now back the other way come the Northmen. Power to cutting break, and I thought that may have trickled through, but a good job by Parolin to keep that from going over the goal line and giving the Ironheads another chance here on offense. Wilkinson looking down low, backhand try by Kent, nothing doing. Stokes had that knocked out of his stick. And possession will remain right here with the Ironheads.
Great pressure by the Ironheads. I'm wondering if that's part of the plan in between first and second period by their coach to maybe stay and pressure some of these defensemen.
Well, you talk about adjustments and only trailing, well, they came in trailing by a couple, still in this game, of course. And we'll see if their coaching staff as well as the players have made an adjustment. Good slide over Johnston. Great save, and Stokes now. Long strides, in alone. Stokes wide of the mark. Tried to place that bounce shot, and too many men going to be the call. And the Ironheads are going to be short. So for the first time in this game, it looks like the Northmen will go to work with the man advantage.
Well, a missed opportunity by the Ironheads on one end of the floor. A great save, obviously. Oh, here's the missed opportunity. He just has to cradle that ball just a little bit. He had such a wide open net and gave time for the Orangeville goalie to slide over. And now the Northmen head to a power play because Stokes ran the ball so well up the floor, they were forced to have too many men.
And we see coming into this game just 36% efficiency on the power play, but not too bad in the last couple of games.
Yeah, last game, 6 for 9 on the power play in that big 16-15 win down in Halton. And no goals against while they were on the power play by the other team's short man team. So things look like to be trending in the right direction for this power play going into playoffs.
Carrero probably ill-advised skip pass. Ball loose, picked up by Cordingley. 6 on the shot clock. Gets it back. Carrero lets it go. BB in the top corner. Power play marker, 5-1 Northmen.
Yeah, a little bit of a sloppy play before this happened, but they get the ball back here in the corner. It's a little bit unsettled by the Ironheads here as the ball thought was going to get turned over, and they just kind of snap one out to the top of the power play here to Carrero, and he just kind of steps in and has the goalie fooled all the way. He shoots it top right. The goalie was looking like he was going to go bottom left, and the Northmen cash another one in on the power play, 1-for-1 tonight.
31st goal of the season for Carrero, and I tell you, that kid can shoot the ball for sure. I thought he passed up a good attempt looking for that skip pass, but funny how karma works. Got right back to his stick, and he found the mark. Northman back to work on offense. Power looking for an opening, pulls it back out, takes the overhand on the mark. Good save there by Parolin. Rebound loose, good hustle. Carrero fishes that out, and that'll be a crease call. Possession to the Ironheads.
Yeah, Carrero reaches in the crease to get that loose ball. It's so difficult to wait for that thing to bounce outside the crease. Just a little advised, a little bit of pressure on him. So
okay in the NLL and the ALL, not so much here, as they'll slow things down now with McLennan. McLennan looking for an opening. Good defense, tenacious by the Northmen as they closed up everything. And now they'll look to work it up. Quick pass, Cordingley, top corner. Cade Cordingley with his second of the game.
Well, you'll see after the turnover and the Northman end, the goalie gets the ball. Then we get Aiden Doig, headmans it up to, I believe it's Preston Gear, and we've got a streaking Cade Cordingley out of the change box, and he comes right across, gets to the center of the floor, nice little far side, short side, and makes easy work of that one to get the Northmen up to 6-1.
Like that fake to the right, buried on the right, and good job by Cordingley. I don't see his dad in attendance here. Surprisingly, not in his season seats. So hats off to Dad, wherever you might be, as the Ironheads now trying to respond. Page, his shot may have been deflected as Johnston caught it on a bit of an awkward bounce, but certainly wasn't coming at him full steam. And now Thompson. Marshall, good fake, pulls it back out. Defense was better. Marshall trying to turn the corner, using his speed. Cross-check, bounces him out, finally gives it up. That shot well wide of the mark by Stadnik. And now the Ironheads break out with a chance. Jesse Gonzalez, and he rings it off the pipe. Sorry, that was Johnny LaFleur, and back the other way. Power in alone. Power finds the back, bulges the twine, and it's a 7-1 game.
Well, a little bad luck by the Ironheads here. They got to break one way, hit a post, and the Northmen come the other way and get a goal. So you'll see here, a little late getting off the bench, but we get a stick on it. Goes off the post, almost trickles in, and the Northmen look up the floor right away as they've done all year. Find the open man halfway up the floor, and then streaking great change out of the box again. And Gordy Power makes no mistake and puts it home to increase the gap to 6.
Bounce shot, 5-hole by the Power. And look like we're going to have a goaltending. Nope, just a goaltending break, no change. Parolin's in there, in it to win it. And got to be tough. And when speaking to Pat Gregoire prior to the game, just some of the challenges to having such a young team and getting the full roster there. And really we talked too about building a program. You know, you look at Orangeville and the history that they've had, and how do you get there, right? That's right. That's the real knack, is being able to build something that lasts all the time. Why are the same certain teams in it every year, right? That comes to the management and the coaching. So he just was stating, those challenges and trying to get West Durham on the map and, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, in these communities, these club communities that you have, it's all about, a great deal, I shouldn't say it's all about, but a great deal of it is who in the community is giving back, who's done it before. And I don't think anyone does it better than Orangeville. If you look at any of the A teams in minor, if you look at the junior teams, it's all junior A experience at least, if not pro. And we just continue to churn out great teams, successful teams, and I really believe that has a lot to do with the success of the Northern organization.
Well, I think you're right, and it's a good job filtered down. Carrero, nice feed, and the pass play with Cordingley may have been one pass too many, but I think the attempt is what mattered there, getting your teammate involved, and that's just sharing the rubber right there. Ironheads will set things up, and I think you're right, Matt. But again, there's a culture and a tradition in Orangeville that dates way back, and that's something that the community has done a great job to keep alive and to pass on to the generations. I mean, you look at it, you've played, you pass that along to your son. The same thing accordingly. I mean, this is the sport that it specializes in keeping the family roots, right? And I think that Orangeville's done such an amazing job in doing that, and you look at the number of teams that they continue to have every year, never seem to have a problem getting kids out to play.
Right, yeah, and I mean, when I was a little kid growing up, I didn't know what lacrosse was, but my aunt remarried, and I gained a couple of cousins in the Millers, and became part of the Northman family. It was great.
Oh, my Leighton Cook. Someone has something going on in the kitchen. That was a pellet right there as he finds the mark.
And as you can see, Leighton Cook just wide open. No one's going to him. He gets to skip right into this and just wires a sidearm far side to keep this trend going for the Northmen.
You have to check that mesh for holes. Boy, it's getting worked.
Well, mesh has a lot of holes, Lance.
Yeah, okay, you're right. I'm going to give you that one because you've been pretty good and you've taken him like a man up to this point. So okay, I think that's only fair. You're right. I will change my approach on that because yes, the mesh does have lots of holes. You're right, and I'll come back with something else. Give me a sec, all right?
I appreciate it.
Smarty, bringing a new broadcast partner. All of a sudden, it's all gone. That's just the way it goes. Accordingly, left side, 15 on the shot clock. Swings it around, had power cutting. Good save, though, by Parolin as he's doing everything he can to try to keep his team in it. But offensively, the Ironheads just seem to be coming up empty. And I'm not quite sure if that's the execution or if it's the Northman defense that's been tight.
Well, it's not lack of chances, that's for sure. They've had several posts. They've had good looks. It's just, the Northern goaltender has just had answers almost every time here. But I am impressed though with the Ironheads. They don't seem to be slouching. They don't seem to be giving up. They want to play hard. They're continuing to try, and that's to say a lot. They come all this way on a Tuesday night, down 8-1 halfway through the second, and they're still going at it here hard.
Page had it stripped going through the middle. No reset. Ironheads though holding on to possession here. Page ducks, kicks it back out. That from way out. Easy save by Johnston. And now Stokes going to pick it up. Going to get the legs going and try it into the offensive end. And now swinging around on the left side to break. Evan Break. Looking for a screen and kicks it back over. Give and go. Beauty. And another good save by Parolin as he stuck out that left shoulder, and just two hands on will give possession to the Ironheads. We are midway through period number 2. 7-goal lead for the Northmen. Remember last time these two teams met, 13-5 was the final in favor of Orangeville. So a win here would solidify second place. Trying to work in the middle was Sean Malo, and nothing doing there. As again, the Northmen defense. And I think the coaching staff has to be pleased with the way their team has responded. Defensively, I say, is Power takes it strong. Rebound break. Good job with a fresh clock. He's going to come out, size it up, get a better angle, duck through two more, and picks the corner. So Evan Brake, making it look easy, finds the mark.
Well, Evan Brake doing 21-year-old things here on the floor. Sees a little gap here, and he just shoots the gap. But he has to go through 1, 2, 3 guys. One hand on the stick, gets his second hand on just as he gets to his wrong side and pushes one into the near corner to make this a 9-1 affair halfway through the second.
I tell you, Evan Brake couldn't look any more casual than that. Just
No,
a little
he looks
stroll,
pretty casual.
Split a couple of defenders and put it in the corner, and yeah, all good. Ball loose, popped out. Northman now back the other way. And it's Stadnik. Guerrero. Marshall in all alone, and that's just too much time, too much space. He finds the back of the net too.
Yeah, Marshall just does a great job adjusting here. He's looking for a skip-in shot, and then he realizes he has so much room. He takes it right to the hopper here. Watch this. So the pass comes across from Marcelo. He skips. Oh, look at all this room I have. He comes in, little far side, short side, loses his shoe in the process, and makes this a double-digit game for the Northmen.
Impressive. Wardrobe malfunction. Still managed to pocket that one. And
it looks like we're about to have a goalie change here for the Ironheads.
Probably a good idea, as Carson McLean will come in and relieve Nick Parolin. And just one of those situations that, I mean, if you're a lacrosse goalie, you better have thick skin and a short memory.
Yes,
and
especially when you're on a team that has a 3-16 record or whatever it is.
Yes, 4-13, and I mean, really, when you look at it, your goals against, if you've got a goals against that's even remotely near single digits in lacrosse, that's incredible as it is. You might as well bat 400 in baseball, same sort of thing. So it's really tough. Goalies tend to ride that roller coaster ride where, they may give up a weak one and then make a great save, and it's a tough gig. Right?
It's a very tough gig. All eyes are on you. You're either hero or the villain in some cases, and it's just a tough one, especially for these young men. They're still trying to figure out the position. They're still getting good at it. And when you're on the short end of the stick, you don't feel great. But I got to say, though, out of the 10 goals Orangeville scored, there's probably only 2 or 3 that he'd like to have back. I mean, the Northmen have been coming in waves. They've been having free looks, open looks, breakaways. And, that's pretty tough when you have those over and over again as a goalie here.
For sure. Another power play, the third of the game for the Northmen. Usual suspect out there. Brake trying to go short side. That went off the defender. So I think that'll stay right here. Possession to the Northmen. Carrero at the top. He's working with Kreller on that right side. Brake and Cook on the left. And it's accordingly down on that right crease. Good ball movement. Zipped around and almost a beauty quick stick finish, but too much tiptoeing in that crease by Cook will give possession back to the Ironheads, and they'll look to burn some clock.
Yeah, Carrero throws that down to the crease for a one-timer, but he throws it as an underhand. That's an awfully hard pass, especially how hard it was to catch overhand and one-time. So maybe look to fake the shot and bounce it down to the crease with an overhand next time.
Sometimes the tic-tac-toe, you need to simplify it just a bit. As Carrero now ducking in, a good shot, stepping into that was Kreller. So tested early as McLean, as he comes right into the fire here with a power play, and the Northmen continue to zip it around the horn. That was just too many skip attempts, 15 on the shot clock. Carrero, and a weapon to have him there. You know that he can take that shot for you anytime. The top, another 30 to work with. 30 seconds left in the power play.
Awful lot of space between the two top guys on the short man here. You'd wonder if maybe you can flash through in a cut once the ball goes down to the crease for the top man.
Well, you tell me, Matt. You played long enough. When do you say, yes, there's 6.5 to go here in the second, but you've got a 9-goal lead? Do you take your foot off that gas pedal? When do you say, okay, let's stop, let's work some clock and burn some time?
I don't think you do. It's too close to playoffs to adjust your game. I think you have to stay focused, whether you're down by 9 like the Ironheads or up by 9 like the Northmen here. You have to play your game. It's junior lacrosse, right? There's no room for feelings really for the other team. Do you have to pour it on and chirp? There's been none of that tonight, so I think you stay gentlemanly about it. But I think you really have to put the pedal to the metal as much as you can here and get the guys going, get feeling good, work on things, and maintain the game plan, right? Sometimes you get these big gaps, and you got guys doing individual things, looking for goals, things like that. I haven't seen any of that from the Northmen tonight, but those are traps that you do not want to fall into when you have a big lead like this.
Well, Jackson Wilkinson let go of a good hard shot that Lucas Johnston stopped, but he has been hobbling just a bit. I'm not sure if that may have caught him in a bad spot or an unprotected spot, but Johnston's just in some discomfort there as the Ironheads now try and work it into the offensive end. And I think you're right, Matt. There is no on-off switch.
Right.
So you need to keep it, once it's flicked on, you keep the lights on till the season's over. That's the way you do it. Good first step by Page, right on, and Johnston looked okay there, but you can see just getting up and moving a little gimpy there. We'll see if he can't shake it off. Stokes gives way to Carrero, and he now will set things up. And really, when you looked at the first period, really it was a 3-1 game at the end of the first, and you knew that the Ironheads hanging around, but at no point in time did the Northmen look like they were uncomfortable. Did they ever look like the game would be in jeopardy? They just seemed pretty steadfast from the opening draw.
Right. I would agree with that for sure. And don't forget, the Ironheads started really hot here in the second period. Nothing was falling for them, and nothing has fallen for them. So, this could be a very different game if some of those had fallen early in this period for the Ironheads. But again, I'm still impressed with their vigor here to continue to play and play hard. It doesn't seem like they have gone away at all, and the Northmen are still producing as well. So.
Another chance, this time was McLennan. Not able to beat Johnston. Power now trying to bounce off a couple of checks. He'll curl right around to that right side, keep the legs moving, and look for some assistance. Good job by Marshall to come down with that pass. Marshall, quick swim, dump in tight, and working in a closet with Cook. And crease the call will give West Durham possession now. Under 3.5 to go, second period. So these Ironheads still have to play out the remaining 2 games, looking for a win, any win, have that glimmer of hope of making it into the playoffs, squeaking in that last spot, but gonna have to come away with a W somewhere, somehow. In transition, Northman, Carrero, Power all alone. Power rings it off the pipe. Cordingley does a good job to gather that loose ball and give his team another clock to work with. Cordingley zips it up. Carrero had to take that. He was wide open. Good save made by McLean. And Cordingley, 2 on him. Carrero, backhand pass, Power. He'll pull it back out, finds Cordingley. Cordingley with a twister, took a hit. That shot was wide of the mark, but winning all the battles to the loose balls are the Northmen. They'll work another clock.
Yeah, just very tiring for any defense after a big shift like that. The ball's zipping, everyone's running around. and they get a big offensive rebound. It's a lot of heavy breathers out there on the Ironheads for sure.
Accordingly to Carrero, not able to connect on that quick stick, and the Ironheads finally get possession. And Moffitt will dump it off. And it's Ryan Clark now. Doesn't make a good pass, and the Northmen have numbers in transition, and they'll pull it back out with Stokes.
Well, it doesn't look like the gentleman there on the Ironheads, the assistant captain, was able to get off after that long defensive shift. So if the Northmen recognize that, they might want to attack him. And here he goes on a breakaway. Almost.
And a tough hop as picking up the slack, Niemi finds a trailer. Quick shot, and finding the mark, Zach Page. He's responsible for both goals for the Ironheads.
Well, after a long, tedious shift on defense, the Ironheads come up with a bit of good luck here and get a bouncing ball. They move it up the floor. A few defenders maybe collapsed too early on him, and number 13 with a beautiful shot there. It looks like he drops that stick down for a sidearm far side. The goalie steps out and he pulls it right between his legs. Not a bad goal for the Ironheads to get with 2 on the board.
29 in the season for Zach Page. And he's been responsible for all the offense that the Ironheads have been able to muster up to this point, and no shortage of opportunities. They just haven't been able to beat Johnston. Accordingly comes with a good overhand, takes a hit, and that late hit will give possession back to the Northmen as we're into the final minute here, period number 2. Break on the dump off, keeps it himself, and he rings that one off the crossbar. Goes up and out of play. 30 more for the Northmen now to work with. Power on the give and go with Carrero. Good save, McLean. And Ironheads now trying to work it the other way. Hoffman in alone. Delay penalty coming. Hoffman finds the back of the net. So a little light for the Ironheads. Back-to-back goals. It's 10-3.
Well, you can see Dylan Cordingley makes a bad decision here. He's the top guy. Oh, we're not going to get it, but he should have gone with the guy who scored the goal here, number 9 on the Ironheads. But he decided to go pressure the ball deeper in the zone, and that freed up that power play. And we're off to the fight.
Johnny Lafleur and Connor Costigan decide to settle it that way, and I'm not sure if it was a late hit going to the benches. You know, when you got the entrance and exits of the each bench close by, sometimes it's very tempting just to send a little message across.
Well, shortly after the goal was scored, I looked back in front of the benches, and it looked like those two players were kind of jostling a little bit and giving shots here and there, and then the Northern player maybe gave him a little touch on the hip there, and I don't think the Ironheads player took too kindly to that, and that's the result we get. Oh, here it is here. So we don't, that's the cleanup there on the replay. Apologizes at home here. We only got one person on the desk here. Lots of stuff going on, but she's doing a great job.
Listen, we don't want to put the pressure on our crack team, all right? Turning up the dial there.
Well, she's searching for it here while they're sorting things out on the floor. She's got some time. No pressure while we're talking in her ear here.
Well, we're not quite sure if there's going to be coincidentals or if there was an aggressor. It's looking to me, based on the fact that with 33.8 seconds left in this period, that the combatants have headed to the change room.
And we're unable to locate the goings-on before the fight. No problem.
So I think we'll just see. I don't see anyone headed to the penalty box from either team. So, like I said, maybe the coincidentals and
yeah. Well, both players obviously kicked out for the rest of the evening, as you're one and done in fights now and have been for some time in junior lacrosse.
I'm in agreement with that for sure. You know, these young men, you got a lot of living left. Wouldn't want anything to go awry. And good job by the officials, though. They brought over a representative from each team just to clarify. And
it looks like we'll be 5-on-5 according to Ref Vandergiesen.
So that is the case, 5-on-5, and an explanation for head coach Pat Gregoire, and of course an offer of an explanation, but it's pretty self-explanatory and no need to visit the Orangeville bench. So 33.8 seconds to go here in this second period. And Northmen off the draw. Shuttle it back to their defensive end, and instead, I'm not quite sure I'm not sure anyone had possession to call a timeout, and I think that may be what the clarification is here.
And it looks like ref Johnny Vandergiesen signaling for another face-off here at center floor. A little bit of confusion between the referees, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And that is the rule. You have to have possession of the ball in order to call a timeout. And I think there wasn't definite possession. Same result, though, as it gets sent back. This time, though, the Ironheads do get possession, and they call timeout. 21.5 seconds to go. And so your head coach now, Pat Gregoire, and what do you got in your bag of tricks there, Skip?
Well, again, I mean, I like this. You're down 10-3. It's, a pretty big gap, but you're showing as a coach, you're getting this time out, you're drawing up a play, you're showing your guys that we are not out of this, we're not giving up, we've got things to do, there's business to take care of, we need to win at least one of these last 3 games, let's get something going, let's see if we can work on some things. And I mean, I think with the defense the Northman's been playing, I think you got to just, again, make sure you get a decent look, whether it's inside, outside. I don't think it matters what player gets the look here. I'm sure the Northmen are keying in on a couple of their guys who've been, their leading scorers, but look for the Ironheads to go around 7 or 8 seconds, run something, and try to get this thing within 6.
Well, we'll see if all that is in the execution process.
Yeah, one thing to draw it up on the whiteboard, another thing for it to actually happen.
You've drawn up many things on that whiteboard.
Oh,
That's why it's erasable. Okay?
Yeah.
Because
sometimes you wish you could erase what happens on the floor.
We've all been there with that. So here we go, Ironheads. Trying to leave with a positive note here in this second period. Into the final 10. Zach Page at the top. Here they go. Swing it around. Page, quick skip. 2, gonna have to get something off here, and they don't. So a good job on rotating defensively by the Northmen as they lead this one 10-3. Final 20 minutes coming up after the short break. Welcome back as we're locked and loaded for third period action. Lance Wynn alongside Matt Marchand. Glad you have tuned in here Tuesday night, where we always are, right here, Alder Street, and off the draw. Possession to McLennan and the Ironheads. McLennan going to work one-on-one, has no help. He'll think better of it. And looking for a cutter and creased the call as Ethan Williams was cruising on the doorstep, not able to find the back of the net. And Northman counting right away. Gordy Power not able to pocket that pass, and it was a good one from Marshall. And now the Ironheads. So this period starting similar to the last one. Hoffman dumped it off, and Carson Kent finds the back of the net.
Well, it's exactly what the Ironheads needed early in this period, just 36 seconds in. They get a stop on one end, or a missed pass on one end, and head up the floor. And just a late trailer coming in, no one picks him up, and he makes no mistake going bottom right with that overhand bouncer.
You can never lose with the overhand, I tell you, as you got to bring something good to beat Johnston, I'll tell you that. He's been good again. Came in with a goals against of about 8, and he's hovering right around that, looking good here if he can shut the door on the Ironheads. Ironheads, though, of course, thinking something else as they have possession now, and like we said, similar to period number 2, they came out flying out of the blocks, but not able to sustain that momentum. That shot wide of the mark. Karam, dying seconds, flipped back up. Had more time than he thought, and now it's Graydon Stokes. He'll give way to Cordingley, and Cordingley, half boards left side, gets a screen from Brake, flips it over to Cordingley. Cordingley gets a screen from Carrero. Trying to shed a defender. All over him is Gonzalez. 7 on the shot clock. Dumped down. Power trying to finish with a quick stick, and he gets muscled off that loose ball. Good job defensively by the Ironheads to hold tight. And now they'll try to work it into the offensive end.
And a frustrated Power leaves the floor shaking his head once again for the second time in a row after 2 missed opportunities.
Had 2 good ones, trying to roll that in. Going to have to be better than that to beat Johnston. As again, Williams with another shot on goal, and Preston Gear has a transition marker early in the first period for his squad. Dumps it off. Carrero finds Marshall. Marshall and Carrero worked a 2-man game. Gear with the screen. Dumped down low, and Marshall was wide open. Didn't realize he had all day, and as he heads back to the bench, probably could have even had time for a fake or 2.
Yeah, Marshall absolutely on his own on an island there, and could have taken 1 or 2 or maybe even 5 steps across the crease at that point, but elected for the one-timer.
That bounce shot goes by Johnston wide of the mark. Does a good job to recover now, and it's Stokes. And I tell you, Stokes, we know all about those red shoes, but apparently his reach is across the country.
Yes. We just found out from Mrs. Stokes that his Nan and Pop Stokes out in Newfoundland watch all these games live, hearing the silky smooth voices of Lance and myself. So we just wanted to say hello to Newtown, Newfoundland, and we hope everything's going well on the East Coast.
East Coast, man. You gotta love the East Coast. Anytime, any place. Penalty to the Ironheads. Guilty party, Zach Shepard. That's an illegal cross-check in the back. And that will give the Northmen their 4th power play of this game. 1 for 3. And
looks like they're going to do a little bit of a wipe up in the crease. Looks like a bit of a slick spot.
Well, and you know, when these rink floors that have ice on them during the winter time and then used for lacrosse are the polished concrete, which is always nice as far as if you fall, it's still hard, but you don't necessarily get the burning action. But any water on it quickly turns it from a nice surface to run on to an ice rink.
It's an absolute ice rink when the floor gets wet, and when you get into the dog days of summer and it's been humid for weeks, and sometimes that humidity gets into the floor, and the Northmen are banging the boards here for Gordy Power, who went out and cleaned that up. Gordy with a smile on his face.
You got to do a little everything there, Gordy Power. And little housekeeping never hurt anyone, as it'll be accordingly at the top of the power play. Him and Carrero will, I'm sure, interchange at some point in time. As you can see, that box really compacted in. Shot from break, save made by McLean. He picks up that loose ball, and he'll look for an outlet. And it's a good one, as he looks ahead to Gonzalez. Gonzalez not able to track it down. Carrero had it, lost it, and the Ironheads now looking to burn some time deep in the offensive end. Under a minute and a half to go in the penalty, and 7 seconds left on the shot clock. So they're just going to keep him pinned there. And a good job, good effort defensively.
A good job of Carrero just being patient there. He knows the shot clock's running down, so no sense of trying to take slashes and attempts to strip the ball. Just ride it out, and then we get the ball right back.
I like what Wilkinson did there. He was working hard and did a good job, too, to hustle off Power. Final minute now, looking down low. Good job. Good decision by Marshall not to force it. Kick it out accordingly. No look, and Power again. They're looking for that quick stick finish. And after he mopped up so well, you figured that he'd love to put the finishing touch on one of those tic-tac-toes.
Well, yeah, at least he hit the net, and the Northmen were able to get an offensive rebound here.
Hope he too hard on Power now. Accordingly, sizing it up. Carrero, not sure what he was doing there. No look pass. Power tried to go short side, rung it off the post. Ball loose. Carrero, good hands. He fishes that one out. And final 8 seconds in the power play. Break. Dumps it down low, and that's going to be a crease call. So not the best pass from Evan Break to Marshall, but the idea was there, just poor on the execution. Ironheads now back to full strength, going to work on offense. McLennan swings it around, and he'll kick it back to the left side. Tough angle, Wilkinson, and that will go the length of the floor. So under 14 and a half to go here, third period. 6-goal lead for the Northmen, and by no stretch of the imagination is this one over, Matt. You got to figure the Northmen going to need a couple more here if they want to seal it. Power takes it strong, and McLean did a good job to close off the short side and take away that opportunity by Power.
Yeah, with the Northmen missed opportunities here in the first third of this period, or first quarter of this period, and the Ironheads getting one early, they've got a pretty good opportunity here to make a game of this.
Chance there as Casey Relini did a good job to spin off a defender. Got a good shot off, but Johnston, right where he should have been position-wise, made that one look easy. McLennan not able to handle that pass. Northmen now counter the other way. It's Pater. Landon Pater looking for accordingly, just went off the head of his stick. Chance now the other way. Ironheads. Marshall defensively. Good job there as Zach Shepard tried to lean in, but Marshall did a good job working his stick side. Break. He'll hold up, wait a minute, wait for the rest of the offense. Gets a screen, ducks back to the middle, slides through two defenders. No look pass, looking on that crease for Pater. And Leighton Cook with two defenders on him, 7 on the shot clock, and he somehow comes away with it and has that deflected up and off the netting. but no lack of effort for sure. And I think that's what you want from your team, even leading by 6.
Right, and you know, Northern have come out a little sleepy here in this third period, so an effort like that will hopefully kind of rouse the bench a little bit and get these guys back to where they were in the second.
Couple of unanswered goals by the Ironheads, making things interesting here as that pass goes, and going for a run and ahead of steam is Noseworthy. And it looks like, not sure if we're going to have 1 or 2 penalties.
Well, it looked like the Ironheads player was ready to go here, and Colin Thompson must have heard Coach Brandon Sanderson yelling, "No, no, no," as Coach Brandon Sanderson doesn't want anyone ejected for next game.
Well, I think that's certainly a fair point from the coach, so it looks like it will be coincidentals. So teams will be playing 5-on-5, or 4-on-4. And again, 2 games left in the regular season schedule for both these two teams. It's a home and home against Brampton for Orangeville. So we will be back at her, back here Saturday night. Carrero, 1-on-1 on the switch off, still has it, swings it around Cordingley. Cordingley gets a screen from Brake, wide open Brake on the roll. Brake tried to bring it back around on the inside out. Good save by McLean, back the other way. Here comes Gonzalez with 1 man to beat, wrong stick side, and he's going to draw a penalty. And it's going to actually be too many men on the floor for the Northmen. And with 1:23 left in the coincidentals, the Ironheads will go to work with a man advantage.
Yeah, ill-advised by the Northmen to have that extra guy go out a little early. I thought Cordingley did a really good job reacting there and getting back. There was no real threat. And when you have a 6-goal lead, that's a tough penalty to take to go 4-on-3.
Well, trying to put a halt to the 2-goal run by the Ironheads as they work it around the horn. Wilkinson battling for it, comes away with it, shovels it down low. Good hands and a good shot there, steered aside by Johnston. So Niemi, lightning quick on that left crease. Kick it back out, nothing doing. Page, great recovery there. And they'll work left side. Page, no look. Niemi, Page shot, stopped. They never got through, blocked. So no reset on the play, and Page with a shot from point blank, and how about that rebound? So good effort, second effort by the Ironheads, and they've reeled off 3 straight.
Well, the Ironheads do a good job of getting their ball back here and attacking again. And they get a good look here with a nice shot, a little rebound. He drives hard to then around the stick of the Northland defender, and with one hand just scoops it underneath Johnston to bring this game within 5. And now we have ourselves a game with a little bit more than half of the period remaining.
Casey Rellini with his first of the game. Certainly making things interesting. 10-5 now, and been a while since the Northmen have parked one in the back of the net here with, as we're closing in on the 11-minute mark here, third period. And that's what we talked about, Matt, about that button not being able to turn it on and off. You either got to be on the whole game or you turn that off. All of a sudden, you could have a different end result. Ironheads clearly with the momentum. They have reeled off the last 3 to cut the deficit in half. That shot, good save. Johnston, rebound, picked up and wide of the mark on the quick stick, but on the rebound again. So a good job by Malo. And the Ironheads again now from the right side. Trying to duck his way in there was Carson Kent. That ball loose. Good effort there by Aiden Doig as he's going to run it down and pick it up in the offensive end. Airs it out. Good job to Cordingley. Cordingley now stepping in, swinging around. Gear. Transition players staying out there on the floor here. Accordingly, shot wide of the mark. Rebound to the Ironheads. Looking for some transition, Ryan Moran. Moran, good decision not to give it away. And now the offense to work for the Ironheads. Hoffman out there with Relini on that right side. Hoffman, hesitation, dumps it back over on the kick. Good skip. Relini tied up, and I'm not sure what they're going to call it. Both officials with a hold, and I think Casey Relini, no hesitation. He high-stepped it right towards the penalty box.
Yeah, I initially thought the call was going to be on the Northman defender for making a really good bottom hand check, but I guess the ref saw something I didn't see, and that's why they were down there, and that's why I'm up here.
5th power play opportunity of the game for the Northmen.
Well, this is a big opportunity for the Northmen to establish another 6-goal lead, as this next goal in this game is very, very important.
Carrero at the top. Out there working with Kreller in that right shooter. And Kreller filtering in, trying that backdoor play. Wasn't able to connect. 10 on the shot clock. Break. No look. That one on the mark. So Mason Kreller from that right shooter spot finds the mark. So you asked for a big goal and they got it.
Yes, it was. It was actually off of a really good play that didn't work out with the quick stick on the back. And what they do is they get it over here, they reset, and it's just a quick skip pass across the top. And it gets the goalie having to move all the way from one post to the other. And very, very slick is Mason Kreller putting it back to where the goalie came from.
Good job of finding that far corner as Kreller puts an end to that 3-goal run by West Durham. And now the Northmen looking to add to their tally here as we inch toward the 8.5-minute mark. 3rd period. Ducking in, and what a great save by McLean as Marshall split the D in all alone. Was able to beat a couple defenders, but not McLean. Ironheads see if they can't build on that momentum. Hoffman skips it. Feathered inside, and nothing doing as Zach Page ran right into a good solid cross check as he tried to release that shot. And the Northmen now with possession, moving it up the other way. Break. Gets a screen. On the roll. Dump off. Quick shot. Good save, McLean. Chance there for Cook. And now Moran trying to get it out of his own end, and I guess the call was for laying on the offensive player, or I'm not quite sure, but
I'm not sure either.
Either way, Ironheads on offense. Hoffman swing it around. Niemi gets bounced off at Stokes. Stokes now with the stride. Thompson with him, and Thompson will curl right back out. And again, time on the side now of the Northmen. No need to force anything or rush. Marshall. One-on-one. Dances back out, swings it around Carrero. Carrero looking for an opening. 5 on the shot clock. On the give and go. Carrero off the crossbar. So well executed on the give and go as Cordingley go for a run now and bring it into the offensive end. Marshall, everything right, just didn't have the finish. Cordingley does though. How's that for an answer? Bullet, low far side.
Well, the Northmen do a really good job of getting a shot late in the shot clock before the possession. It goes all the way down. They take their time getting back up. And just kind of an unsettled play. There's some picks going on, and they just kind of find Cordingley sneaking out there. Defenseman can't get out to him, and he just throws a bullet far side from way outside to get this back to 7 goals difference for the Northmen.
3rd of the game for Cade Cordingley. He's now got 16 on the season. So 3-goal run. The answer, 2-goal mini run by the Northmen now, and they have possession. Under 6.5 to go. Break. And I'll tell you, one of the things about this Northman team, Matt, you see you've got the guys that are their main goal scorers. You've got Evan Brake, you've got Carrero. These are guys who are used to putting the ball in the net. But the way they're sharing it in this game, you don't see Evan Brake trying to score 4 or 5 goals. You don't see that from Carrero. You see them working as a team and within the team concept.
Yeah, I mean, the more you move the ball and the more you share the ball, the more opportunities you're going to get. So sometimes you'll get kids who are maybe a little bit selfish. They want their points, especially in games like this when there's lots of goals. Maybe they haven't scored or they don't have as many points as they like to have, and then they start to force things a little bit. And what that does is it makes it easier for the other team. If you can get that ball snapping east-west, getting good cutters, good pick and rolls, a couple set plays, everyone benefits from that. And, you know, sometimes that's a hard sell for some players, but it looks like this team has bought right into that.
I think that's the key. Everyone's got to buy in. It is a team concept, and if you're going to go far in the ranks and with the quality of teams that there are in this level, Junior B, Junior A as well, you need the team concept is big. That's the only way you're going to win a championship is if everyone contributes. Accordingly, kick it back out, working accordingly. An opening, goes to the overhand. That just wide of the mark. Ironheads now will look to move it up. So I think that little spurt that they had may have been all they have, as the Northmen have managed to provide the answer. Trailing late. Carson Kent, nothing doing there. Ball loose. Preston Gear almost read that like a book. Flip back. Niemi, good save there by Johnston, who has again been stellar between the pipes. Delayed penalty coming to the Northmen. Fresh clock here to work with. So the Ironheads, though, netminder will remain intact. Give and go. That shot, a weak one on a well-timed cross-check, and possession here to Gear, and I'm not quite sure. I thought there was an arm up for a delayed penalty, but
I think he might have fooled you with a reset.
Maybe that was the case. I should have used my good eye, not the one with the patch on it. As Power does a good job to recover. Gordy Power takes it strong and keeps right on going as net gets off.
You think Gordy Power wants a goal here tonight?
Gordy Power looked pretty hungry taking it there, as he has had numerous opportunities in this game, but still looking, still searching for one. Hoffman tried to track it down. Instead, it gets swung over. McLennan. 5 on the shot clock. That desperation shot on target by Ethan Williams, but gonna have to come from a different angle to beat Johnston, and we're at the 3-minute mark here. Break. Carrero. Swing around, Cordingly. 7 on the shot clock, Cordingly. Trying to get a better angle. That overhand wide of the mark. Rebound, though, will be a shot clock violation. Possession to the Ironheads as they are running out of time here. And again, Northmen, good job of weathering whatever storm was thrown at them in this game. They certainly were able to answer as that one trickles in for the Ironheads, and Johnston had it, I think lost sight of it, and it just trickled over the goal line behind him.
Well, this has happened to Johnston a couple of times tonight where the ball's kind of been bouncing back and forth here and there behind him, and there's been really no reaction from the goaltender. As you can see, he just kind of stays still there, doesn't turn around, doesn't move to the side as goalies usually do when they don't know where the ball is. I remember Chris Sanderson, a legend in Orangeville. He's not with us anymore, unfortunately, but he used to, when that happened to him, he would stand there and then he would just take his big stick and turn it sideways and wave it behind his back. And as a youngster, I saw him clear a couple of balls like that out from the crease. So maybe something he might want to work on going into playoffs here.
Zach Page with his third of the game. And the Ironheads now battling as we are just at the 2-minute warning. Hoffman, skip, and underhand looking for that 5-hole, but Johnston had the basket there, and a late hit from Stokes will give it right back to the Ironheads. Thompson trying to get out to apply some pressure. That skip pass, tough hop. And Ironheads managed to grab it. Relini. Tough angle there, and that shot now rebound to Thompson. Thompson now will move it up with one pass, and it's Pater.
As you can see, the Northmen are really taking their time with the ball up the floor here. They had a bit of a break there opportunity, but didn't want to force anything. Maybe the coaches have told them to use the 30-second clock as much as they can.
I think so. Now's the time. You don't want it, like you said, any suspensions, no injuries. You got a couple games left in the regular season. A win here solidifies second place. So definitely in the playoffs, definitely in the mix are the Northmen. That pass, an errant one. Noseworthy. Good pass ahead, and they'll hold up. Wait a minute.
And it looks like they're sending just the backdoor guys out to play offense here in the final seconds of this game. Make sure nothing goes wrong out here.
Well, you see this offensive unit they got out there with Stokes along with Gear and Noseworthy. And give McLean some credit. He's come in, done a good job, held the Northmen to just 2 goals, and that's something to be said for sure, as this one's going to go into the books as the West Durham Ironheads are just going to run this clock out. And that does it. So 12-6 the final. West Durham Ironheads fall now to 4-14. The McMaster Northmen, they roll on 14-2 their record. 2 games remaining in the regular season. We'll be back for one of those. On behalf of JVI Production, Matt Marcinet, I'm Lance Wynn. Have yourself a good night. We will see you next time.
Business? Having issues getting your products on time and seeing your prices skyrocket? Ontario Packaging and Distribution Centres is here to help. Ontario Packaging is helping Dufferin businesses save time and money with over 2 million products available. Ontario's one-stop shop for everything you need to run a business, warehouse, or restaurant here in Dufferin. Want to put your company logo on your boxes, tapes, or poly bags? Just give them a call. From packaging and shipping supplies, boxes to bubble wrap, to janitorial, and their new full apparel catalog, OPC really has it all. Over 2 million products in stock. See the difference hometown shopping makes at Ontario Packaging Centres, supporting our local community from 70 Centennial Road, Unit 3, Orangeville.